All right, welcome to the November 13th Town of Lapel Planning Advisory Commission. At this time, can we please stand for a pledge of allegiance?
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
This time, can I please get a roll call?
Brian Robertson,
Here.
Matt Wood,
Here.
Brandon Hutchison,
Here.
Diane Pressler. Here. Here.
First on the agenda is adoption of minutes. Has everybody had time to look over the minutes for October 9th?
Yes.
This time I'd entertain a motion to approve the October 9th minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve October 9th minutes.
I'll second.
Brian,
Yes.
Matt,
Abstain.
Brandon,
Yes.
Diane. Yes.
Now we gotta have four.
So am I allowed to vote? 'Cause I
Yes.
wasn't.
If you've reviewed the record, you can vote. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Were you here?
No,
But
that's
yeah,
why.
but if you've reviewed the record,
I
I think
have.
then you can vote yes.
Okay.
Brian,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
Diane. Yes.
Next is agenda considerations. Anything anybody wants to add to the agenda tonight?
No.
All right. Next is public comment.
You need me to stand or anything? Or?
Just state your name.
My name is Seth Hartzell. So I'm here. I own Bulldogs Moving Company, and we're growing a lot right now, and we're kind of outgrowing where we're currently at. And so we're trying to find another place to move to not necessarily be a permanent in-game home, but we're trying to find something. And we really want to stay in Lapel. We love Lapel. It's named Bulldogs Moving Company after Lapel. Do a lot of stuff within the town. We moved the town council over the summer. We hire a bunch of the students to work for us. We moved several people into Lapel. I don't know if we moved too many people out of Lapel because people love it so much, but we do a lot and we wanted to stay in here. We take our trucks to Lapel Truck and Trailer to get them worked on. And one day when I was there, I stopped by the Remax place on the way home just to see what kind of options there are, if there's anything commercial at all. And Callie Wood, the lady in there, she actually presented a property that she owned that she wanted to sell to me. And it's currently zoned agricultural, so I was trying to figure out. I first went to Marcellus and asked him some questions about it. And then I talked to Matt about it a little bit, and just seemed like the answer was it's not really going to be a possible place because we'd have to rezone it general industrial, as I think what I was told, and it would have to be paved and have to have a building, have to tear down the trailer, have to do all this work. And it's like, really just need a stone parking lot that I can have my trucks park on, and then have a place where the employees can park. The employees will come in the morning, take the trucks, come back at the end of the day, take their cars home. And then there's a trailer on site we could use for just like storing some supplies, but that's really all that we'd be doing it for. I did bring a couple pages. My printer ran out of ink when I was printing out more, so I don't know who needs to see them. But yeah, I just want to
You can read on there.
review
I've
them.
already seen it,
The
so.
land is on the top there. It's near 38 and 13.
So that's where all those trees are at. And you guys used to have that garden out there.
Yeah, so the place is surrounded by trees. You can't really see much from the road. Near 38 and 13, it's 1 acre.
Out there right now.
On pages 2, you'll see pictures of what it looks like from the road and pictures of what it looks like just inside the trees. Pages 3 and 4 are really what the improvements we would need to be able to run the business off of. And like I was saying, this isn't going to be like a end-game permanent home, but it's something hopefully for the next 5 to 10 years as we continue to grow. But ideally, we want to get to be able to run 5 or 6 trucks, and this is plenty enough space for us to be able to run 5 or 6 trucks out of there. Employee parking would be enough. The trailer's plenty of storage for us to be able to put our supplies in. And then, I'd want to, if I could, I would love to add that north side as an access point. I understand if I can't, it's not the end of the world if I can't add that second access point. The south one is the current existing access point to it. But we'd love to like pave the first, stretch of that, so we're not dragging rocks out onto 13, because I hate doing that. So, I'd love to at least try to figure out, if I can't make this plan work, is there a plan that's similar or close to this one that I could make work, whether through some type of variance or something, to where I can make my company able to perform from this location. And if I can't, if there's something else that's available that anybody knows of, because I looked up online and there's 0 things for sale or lease in Lapel. So love to just get some ideas from you guys, if you guys had any ideas, and see where we can go from there.
To follow up with what Seth said, he did speak with me, Marcellus. I know he spoke with you. I suggested to him that he come to one of the meetings tonight, just get a feel of what everybody's thinking. He didn't want to spend a bunch of money looking to rezone if it was a total waste of time, because nobody was even remotely interested. We talked about a little things. I showed him what the zoning map zoning regulations look like. He even spoke to me about possibility, and I know this would probably be something to the BZA. I don't know if he said anything to you, that if you were to get a variance to allow certain comedies, even if he got a variance for 5 years or 10 years, it said for the next 10 years, he can keep it like this without improvements. And at that time, he could decide, hey, we've grown, let's make the improvements to the property. No, we haven't, we'll go ahead and just sell the property.
Yeah, if you see on the first page, that little square is surrounded by a C-shaped, like farmland. If that ends up going up for sale, I'm not gonna wanna be in the middle of someone else's development and most likely sell with that development if it were to happen. So trying to make it an inexpensive way of us, not having to put a building and pavement and all this other expensive stuff out there just to have to tear it up in 10 years when it's not gonna make sense. And I think it would look worse if we had added all that extra improvements and then ended up being hidden behind all these tall trees and all this other stuff that's already out there. So we don't really want to disturb anything. We don't really even want to be seen. We just want to be able to operate and stay in Lapel if we can. So.
The other thing I did not know about is I was gonna actually ask you ahead of time, is there something going where we're looking at making some changes to our zoning ordinances? I heard a rumor of this, so I didn't know.
It's been being talked about for 2 years. I mean, it's more of the planning commission, isn't it, not the council?
As far as what?
Redoing our zoning ordinances.
Yeah, ultimately, the council would have the final say, but this body provides the rough and near final draft to the council.
Yeah, because depending on what that could eventually look like, may end up helping him. I'm not sure.
Well, if a suitable piece of land is found, and that's what the council and the plan commission want there, a rezone is not particularly hard lift. And there's not, it's a couple steps. It's a meeting in front of this board and a meeting in front of the council and the petitioner. And Marcel, step in if I'm say something wrong, but the petitioner can put certain conditions on it. You mentioned a time limit and then things of that nature. So, anything that the petitioner comes to you and says, I'll do this, that's binding. If for whatever reason Bulldog decides they want to sell someday, that's always where you run into problems. We trust these guys, but we have to look out for the next one. So we want to make sure that
and that was, I know that when he spoke to me, that was part of what he was worried about, was convincing the council to go general industrial, which according to our requirements, I think would fall under. Do you agree, Marcellus? Because it's outdoor storage?
Yeah, general industrial, it could possibly be light industrial, but definitely industrial.
Because general industrial was what he was scared might be a hard sell, because it opens the floodgates for so much more.
Right.
if you were to ever sell it.
But the good part about that zoning, when there is a petition to rezone, is part of that zoning, if the petitioner makes certain commitments that they use on the property, those commitments are recorded and go with the land. And so a subsequent purchaser would be bound by those commitments. Now, generally, the general rule is, as this board cannot do conditional zoning. Your analysis of zoning is supposed to be based on the use, not the person. But if the person binds the land themselves to begin with, then you've got an out. And it sounds like the potential petitioner is interested in doing that. But that's the easy part. The hard part's finding the land.
I'd love to buy it, and, you know, like I said, if we can only use it for 5 to 10 years, I don't know how much you guys can trust me, but, I mean, I'm a very trustworthy person in my opinion, and, I mean, we've built this company based off of a lot of trust. I don't know if you guys know much about Bulldogs Moving, but we're 5-star rated, over 300 reviews. We actually got listed in USA Today's top moving companies in America. At least in Indiana, there's only 10 listed. We're the only local company that's listed on there.
They're good.
Yeah.
They moved me
Teresa,
in about
we
6
moved her.
hours.
I mean, we partner with the
They're
Outlaws.
They're my neighbor, so I have.
Yeah, and that's my closest neighbor that I got. So I know there's other places that are able to do similar things, but there's reasons why they're still able to do it. I totally love that. I love being able to grow with that type of stuff. And even if I'm only there for 5 to 10 years, great. That will help us a lot, at least. And then hopefully something else will come up for sale and we can move to something that's a little bit more, ideal. But
You guys have any thoughts or opinions for them?
I think go through the process.
So is
We have the
there a
process.
way to keep that agricultural and do it like a special use for the BZA? Because they can put whatever conditions they want on it.
Yes. It's possible to get like a determination of use or like a use classification through the BZA, and they might determine that this use is substantially similar to something that is allowed in the agricultural district.
I just don't know what it would fall under.
And
under
yeah,
allowed
that's-
uses. Even variance allowed uses. It's-
That's the hard part. And the other issue with the variance process is that the variance process is not intended to be used for like convenience or something like that. It's for when the strict application of the ordinance will basically prevent a person from using the property. And so that isn't really the case here.
I was wondering if we could try to push it more as commercial. I mean, that'd be good use for it in the future if it were to ever get sold.
Well, I think once you do that, I don't think it's big enough by the time you put all the setbacks in any kind of commercial setting that he's gonna have a little bitty tiny box in the middle of it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
That's why they haven't been able to sell it, if I may speak.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
There's not, isn't it because there wasn't enough frontage road is what started, because she had called me several years ago, wanted to sell it, and it didn't have enough frontage for, like, even to put a house, it has to be 2 acres to put a house on, and the frontage wasn't.
You know how big that lot is?
it's 1 acre exactly. I guess if the result is go through the process, what is the typical process that I should do if that is the case?
So my suggestion would be, well, about having seen, can I borrow
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, being,
somebody's copy of?
Oh, yeah, here you go. I'm sure the state's got some kind of setback that you're gonna have to deal with as well. So being it's on a state road,
yeah,
that could be the biggest thing is by the time you get the state setback and then the setbacks from the zoning, it's,
I mean,
I don't know that you're gonna have anything left.
potentially, correct me if I'm wrong, but potentially get not the states, but our setbacks to the BZA because of the the property just not being capable of being
Yeah,
used
because of the
in any
size.
other way.
Right.
I know we've done that for lots in town that don't technically meet any of our requirements. Because if not, they could never be anything.
Exactly. Yeah, I mean, so the process for this, you would seek a rezone, most likely, because I don't think that, I think we have to revise our use variance process and standards. But I don't think your situation would qualify as a hardship, unique hardship that would require or allow a use variance necessarily. So you would need to go through a rezoning. You could, in that rezoning application, when you're describing the proposal process, you would propose what the use in that zoning category you're looking for is. The ordinance allows either the administrator or the BZA to make that determination. So that's something that I could make that's a determination I could make administratively in the rezone process. And then if you make it through that rezone process, I don't think that the situation would qualify for variances of development standards. So you'd be stuck complying with, well, in some cases, right? So like the setbacks you might be able to get a variance on, but I don't think that you would be able to get a variance on like not paving, for example, not paving the parking area, for example. So that's kind of what that would look like. You would need to go through a rezoning process and then variance of development standards process.
Well, and since it's more than half an acre, they're gonna have to go through the state with a waste or a stormwater management.
Right.
And you're gonna have to put in a retention pond to capture all your water.
Right, so that's right. So the process I just described is the approval process for Lapel, but that's going to also involve, the development could also involve approval from various state departments.
I believe it's half an acre, anything over half an acre disturbed, you have to get a permit to the state.
Right.
For the stormwater.
And it being off of State Road 13, you're going to need a NDOT permit for your driveway.
If the parking lot is fenced in, does it still have to be paved?
Yes.
I was thinking like storage, you didn't have to, but
I mean, the ordinance says all parking areas need to be paved. So, I mean, you can make a distinction between storage and parking, but if you're
parking the trucks there. Yeah.
if you're parking trucks there, it's parking.
Yeah. But that's gonna look like this, no matter if it's this lot. I mean, the variances on the setbacks, obviously different because this is a small lot. But the rest of this is gonna look this way with any piece of property in the purchase.
Yeah. That makes sense.
And I guess I would just say, based on the comprehensive plan and the future land use map, if you can find a property south of 38, a lot of that area is planned in the comprehensive plan to become commercial and light industrial. And so rezoning in that area would be, for either of those two zoning districts, would be less problematic, easier to get through.
And I think I might have mentioned this to you, but Dorsey,
Yeah, I talked to Roscoe.
you talked to him
Well, briefly.
about purchasing one of his lots that will be coming up for sale.
Yeah, I talked briefly about something, but I can always reach out to him and talk to him more.
He once that industrial park, which has already been approved, goes in,
Yeah,
he has several lots that he's selling,
sweet,
and they're already zoned accordingly. So
sweet. No, this is good. That's all I really came for, is to make sure that this is for sure not gonna happen type of place, so.
but
Or if it
the nice part, if you do that with Dorsey, he's already got the drainage, the roads,
Oh, yeah.
all you gotta do is your lot.
Sweet.
No, once he gets it done, I think he's supposed,
Yeah,
he's
once he
talking
gets it
about
done.
starting on it next year.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, he said he was a little ways off of it, so.
it'd be a little bit, but it'd be a little bit for you to do your own thing too, so.
Sweet. All right. Well, thank you guys for your time. Appreciate it.
Any other public comments? All right.
Everybody else here.
I know. I just felt like I had to say. Next on the agenda is old business. None. Next is new business. Address assignment for Duke Energy on State Road 13.
Alrighty. So I received an email from a representative of Duke Energy Indiana asking to have property on the east side of State Road 13, about 1,700 feet north of the intersection with State Road 38, to have their address assigned. Basically, I did a little math that you can look at. Don't need to go into describing it here, but the result of taking two of the nearest properties with addresses and doing a little math, I came up with the suggested address of 5446 South State Road 13 for the property.
Ironically, you use the same property we were already talking about.
And yeah, that's it.
That's the same property?
No, when he did his measurement, it was off that property
Oh.
for the address.
Okay.
So, yeah, that's all for me. Should be a pretty straightforward
Yeah,
decision.
at this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve Duke Energy's address for as 5615 South State Road 13.
I'll make the motion.
What address did you just say?
Was that the right address?
Oh my gosh, I read it wrong. It's 5446.
I'll make the motion that we set Duke's property address to 5446 South State Road 13.
Thank you.
I'll second.
Brian,
Yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Brandon,
Yes.
Diane. Yes.
Waiting on you.
Oh, yes, sorry. It's been a long day. Next on the agenda is planning commission discussion, 2026 calendar meeting and filing dates.
Yes, so I sent you all the calendar for next year. Basically, structured it the same way the calendar for this year is. The Plan Commission meetings are on the second Thursday of the month. The calendar also lists the town council meetings for that same month and the next month for any cases that might involve a Plan Commission recommendation to town council and then town council giving the final decision. Depending on the particulars of the case, town council may be able to hear it the very next week or the next month. Just depends on the case and how much time they might need to review any materials. And then list the public hearing notice deadlines, which are 10 days before these meetings. And then the filing deadline is basically about a month before it's the Monday of that week, 4 weeks out. And that's obviously just to give staff enough time to review before presenting their report to this body. There aren't any holidays that interrupt the normal second Thursday schedule. And that's the calendar.
Thank you. Quick question is, are we planning on still attending this location all of next year? I didn't know the council's order on that.
We haven't voted on anything to start on town hall yet, so as of right now, I would say yes.
Okay. So we need to go ahead and make a vote then, don't we, to do that? At this time, I'd entertain a motion to approve the 2026 calendar.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2026 calendar meeting and filing dates.
Well, second,
Brian,
yes.
Matt,
Yes.
Brandon.
Yes.
Diane.
Yes.
Next on the agenda is code enforcement case updates. Do we have any?
No, I don't think we've even sent anything out.
No,
I don't know of
got a
anything.
few pending, but nothing, we haven't sent any new ones out at all.
Okay. Next is the planning administrator report.
All right. So for this past month, BZA cases update. Last week, the BZA approved a variance for a shed that encroaches on the side yard of the property. The approval was unanimous. Also, last week, an application was made for a variance of use to allow a home occupation not currently listed in the use table in the agricultural district. The hearing for that case is scheduled for December 4th. There are no other development updates. And then for administrative matters, I have two sort of updates, just kind of keep you up to date on some things. Use variances. Currently, the ordinance does not allow use variances, but this appears to conflict with state law, which says that BZA shall hear use variances. And that shall typically means they're required to. So in the process of making changes to that section of the ordinance so that we're in compliance with state law. And as I mentioned, that previous BZA case, that will be the first use variance under this ordinance. Rather than making them wait for us to change the ordinance, we're just going to do that process now. And basically after the ordinance is rewritten and adopted, well, after the ordinance is rewritten, it'll have to come here for your recommendation and adoption by town council. And then after that, I will be revising the BZA application forms to reflect those changes. And then the other administrative matter I wanted to bring to your attention. I am right now there is no application form for address assignments. So just kind of I get an email in my inbox asking like, oh, my property doesn't have an address. What do I do? And so given that I've seen a couple of those emails this past year, I think what I'm going to do is for subdivision applications or plat applications, I'm going to include a checkbox or something somewhere on the application form that will say, I need a new address or I need addresses assigned. And then perhaps also produce a standalone forms that people who already have properties that have been subdivided but do not have addresses can fill out that form. And so the plan is to make those changes and then I'll present the new forms to you so you can approve them. And my thoughts on any fees attached with this. Obviously, if it's part of a subdivision process or something like that, they're already paying a fee for the subdivision. Seems unnecessary to add another fee on top of that. But if it's a standalone application, I think it might be appropriate to just have like a simple nominal fee, like a $25 or a $10 or something like that. But anything larger than that is because that kind of request doesn't take me much time to process.
Do we need to go ahead and make a motion to approve a price for that, or wait till you get it created?
Not yet, yeah.
Wait till you get it created.
Yeah, exactly. I just wanted to kind of give you a heads up on.
No, I definitely agree. We've had a lot of the addresses lately, and we're gonna have more.
Yeah, and I don't want to, since there haven't been like too many all at once, it's been easy to kind of make sure I'm keeping track of those, but I don't want to find myself in a situation where I've totally forgotten that somebody requested an application, an address and something like that. So having those forms will kind of help keep me on top of that. And that is all for the planning department report.
All right, thank you. At this time, I'd make a motion to adjourn the meeting, with the next meeting being December 11th.
I'll say it.
All in favor?
Aye.